Testing, testing, testing. This is the first time I'm actually seeing cameras capture my brown eyes. It's very weird. And presenting why you should not have cats on one. This is Ollie scratching up my face. Hi guys, how have you been? I decided I usually go live on TikTok, but I was like, you know what, let me just go live here. I'm not sure how the audio quality is though, now that the whole of Nairobi is being over again. So let me just close the window. Yeah, so I think we can now start. We are 2 minutes in. Okay. So I genuinely want to produce, to create, and I'm doing that. I'm doing that through TikTok, I'm doing that through Twitter for those who follow me on those platforms. I'm doing that on LinkedIn. But I've realized the reason why I'm neglecting my YouTube channel, or rather I'm not allowing myself to show up in the way I need to show up, is because it's something that really requires me to be seen and perceived. And on TikTok it's easier to hide in, I can show up in a robe, I can show up dressed up, no one really cares. It just, what do you have to say? Is your content really, do I enjoy your personality, do I enjoy you as a person? That's what will translate if they enjoy your content, and that's what we are switching to basically. And after so long, I've gotten to a place where I don't have to people please, I guess. Like, I'm okay. Kitambo, it used to be really hard for me to disappoint people. I was just very determined, I guess. Very determined. I was very determined to make sure everyone else was comfortable, no matter how much discomfort I was absorbing. Because you need to understand, energy doesn't disappear when for example someone tells you, wow, I'm feeling heavy, can I vent? What they're asking is, can they transfer the energy that they're feeling to you? So that's why when you vent or you catch up with a friend, sometimes it can be uncomfortable, but as you just keep going, you're somehow both making the load easier, I guess. Does that make sense? Because sometimes what happens when you're telling someone a story that upsets you, you're laughing, you're transferring the depth of pain or discomfort you felt into some really juicy emotion like laughter and joy. And yeah, that's a very long rant, but that's the space I'm in right now. I'm very, very excited about this year though. I feel like unlike other years where I think I kick in around June, May, when I'm like, oh, the years are going to end, I probably need to get serious. Yeah, this time I'm feeling a bit more confident in my choices. So why have I ghosted you? I've ghosted you because I realized I need to give myself what I thought the YouTube channel would give me. Okay, yeah. So this is about to get really dark really fast. So let's start. Basically, someone was telling me, or rather, I think I would listened to it in a podcast or something. And then the guys were like, "There's nothing worse than a babe with a struggling YouTube channel." Let me tell you, I was triggered, completely, completely triggered because that's what it felt like for me. YouTube was a struggle area for me. YouTube was something I wanted to do, but it wasn't flowing, it was stuck. So after just allowing myself to create content on TikTok, I'm seeing I'm seeing my strengths, and I'm also seeing my weak areas, and I've been addressing my weak areas. Really struggled with coherence, being able to explain your point concisely. I was told my over explaining is a trauma response, which makes sense because I remember I used to really make sure I give someone all the information because there were situations I found myself in that either nimeambiwa I was the one who lied, or just just in trouble with authority for various reasons. That's the other thing I had to like actually deal with, authority. So I've ghosted you because I needed to take my power back. So aside from the validation I had been actively seeking through YouTube, I also saw that it challenged how I wanted people to perceive me. I love getting comments from friends, support from them, telling them when they tell me, oh, I just watched this video of yours, or when they send me screenshots, it just feels so nice. But now it became more about, I knew you don't watch my videos. I had a broadcast list, I had to close it because I realized people really did not care if I was doing YouTube or not. So I had to be okay with that. I had to take my power back by being okay with the fact that not everyone will support or understand what I'm doing, and that's okay. Reason number 3 why I ghosted is also to improve my depth and my capacity. This meant me looking around my relationships with myself and those around me. How am I showing up? What am I letting slide? What am I tolerating? Especially that I do not have space in my life for resentment. That is something that I've realized is a big, 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 big bag of baggage that we are all dragging around. There's someone who is actively in our life that we resent, and that's not right. If the fact that you're making space for that is the reason why you don't have space for the things that you want. So that's another reason why I had to ghost you. I didn't want to, because it became more about editing just to get the quota, because I was just doing it because I needed to do this number of videos. And then I remember my monetization reset, because I do have one video that's almost at 100k views, but when the monetization reset, my hours went down. So I was like, oh my goodness. When I only had one thing to do, which was get to 1,000 subscribers, now I actually have to also deal with the hours. I think, heartbroken. I was really, because I remember after that, my attitude towards YouTube changed. I was posting when I want. I was featuring other people because I really didn't feel like I wanted to speak anymore, which was quite interesting. But reason number 4 why I ghosted is also because I was going through my own personal transitions. Career-wise, honestly, I'm really glad I put in my work for the past 2 years. It's not easy being a full-time consultant. but I'm glad that I'm learning how to do it and be better at it. It's really stretched me, but there are still areas of my life that I'm seeing that need my attention. So what I'm learning to do is ask for help, where exchange of money is needed, sawa, because kitambo I used to be like, but why would I go to a nutritionist? Why say I can just read up, but really you can read all you want. You need someone who will just point you in the right direction once in a while. So that's why I'm very aware why it's important to have a diverse circle. People who their day does not look like yours. Because you can insist on being around people who are maybe your colleagues and you share the same days, routines. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just you need a bit of flavor in your life. That's actually what helps you grow. That's what triggers new desires. That's what shows you what and where you want to go. So don't hesitate on that. If, for example, you want to be spontaneous and instead of taking white coffee, you take black coffee, I'm just like saying you can do it. Another thing or other reason why I ghosted you is because I needed to get rid of any other blocks I had in my self-expression. I needed to really sift through who I'm presenting myself as. Is it a facade? Is it something I can do consistently? What would help me do it consistently? What would help me keep showing up for myself? What kind of day did I want it to look like? I really went into the nitty gritty of all of it. And it was really epic because some things that I thought I needed in my life were really just, they were not supposed to be there, I guess. Yeah, they weren't supposed to be there. I look back on my life and I'm really glad I took the leap. I'm really glad I trusted myself. It wasn't easy. I won't sit here and say it was easy. I won't sit here and not acknowledge the days that I was shit scared because I kept asking myself, did I make the right decision? Was it a mistake? Will I end up moving back home? Have I failed myself? And yeah, those are really hard questions to have going through your mind when you have bills coming up or you have reminders on your phone that you haven't paid XYZ. But it's also taught me, another reason I ghosted you was also to learn the power of negotiating. I realized I had a lot of it depends on you kind of attitude. So for example, if someone is setting up a meeting and then you tell them, oh yeah, see basi, you'll nini, please set up the calendar or whatever, all those things. But really at the end of the day, you're giving everyone a chance to have a say in your life. I know someone will say that's not really it, but it is if you think about it. So what I've been doing is I have my day divided into blocks, and the first and last block are dedicated to me. Everything else in between is dedicated either to a client, to a task. So when I say to a client, it can be like I have tasks that I need to complete. Okay, so I recently started like a Trello, whatever. I was using Notion, but Notion for strategy, vision work, and just tracking. And I like Trello because of the checklist. So you're able to do repetitive tasks consistently. So being able to divide my day into blocks, I'm able to say, okay, fine, I need this block of time. And it can be, for example, if it's a priority, if there's a deadline coming up, such things. So it allows me to basically say, like, okay, I'll dedicate X, Y, like this time to this time to that, and then this time to this time to that, because now that helps me with my hyper focus. I'm able to deal with, because I'm a multi-track person. As much as am really fighting the urge to multitask, I would still innately find myself doing it. So I encourage myself to do it, but within a certain scope. Like I give my, instead of me like searching an entire field, I give myself like a certain circumference or corner to work on, finish, and then move on, because that's the only way I'm able to get work done. Because I'm very, it's like 1 minute I'm here, the next minute I'm there. Like I can actually, even when I'm giving stories, if you haven't noticed, that's what I was struggling with in my storytelling. Like, yeah, my stories were nice, but I was all over the place. So there's someone who even asked me, "Do you have a script when you're doing your videos?" And I was so offended. I was like, "What do you mean a script? You want me to really sit down and be like, these are the words that I will see?" When really, anytime in front of a camera or talking to someone, I feel like a channel. Like everything is just, whatever is rising is okay to say to the person. And I know a lot of people can't do that, because someone is probably either whatever is arising are negative thoughts or criticism or just judgmental thoughts. But really, most of the time when I'm with people or just having brainstorming sessions, oh my god, I love them so much. In fact, if I could, that would be an event for me. Should I actually pursue that? Anyway, we'll see. I have so many things to pursue, so let's see. And plus, we have years. We have a few years. We have a couple of years before we actually retire. So, yeah, let's see. I know someone will be like, retire, but you just started working. Okay, I'm not planning to stay here. I'm actually just going to build something that will just help me maintain this lifestyle. So that if I want to go find out how the biashara is doing, I'll go find out. But yeah. Anywho, okay. I think the other thing, or rather the other reason I ghosted you predominantly was also because I needed to start putting into action what I was talking about. So I've noticed that's what usually happens in between my breaks for YouTube. So I'll talk about topics, and then I'll dip, and then come back, talk about topics, then I dip. And majority of what I talked about before my break is what I've been working on. That's about showing up for myself, my finances, my mental health, and just having better quality conversations and experiences. And I'm actually really pleased to come back and report that, yeah, imagine just start paying for random shit. Pay for experiences. Like most recently, I signed up for pole dancing classes. Why, Stacey? Why did you decide to venture into career skills that will not apply to your life? Well, because I need hobbies. I need to do other things. Like I realized I've been so focused on expanding my spirit, my mind, my perception, but I've never actually worked on my body. So I paid for gym and I paid for pole dancing classes. I paid for gym because I want to gain. I want to actually just push. Because I've pushed my limits on focus and willpower, and I actually don't have a problem with that. Like before I actually snap, you'll have really tried me. But the best part about it is now joining gym has allowed me to listen to my body, because we're not very responsive. Sometimes the stimuli, we can be so disconnected with ourselves that the stimuli our body is giving comes off as a different message in our head. So I'm starting to learn the difference between discomfort and pain, because you can be doing a certain set and then you're starting to feel it's so painful, but really that's just discomfort and it's growing pains. So yes, and then I signed up for pole dancing classes because I've always been so scared of somersaulting. So I was like, you know what, we're going to do somersaults on a pole. Plus, I've always wanted to have a pole in my house. I don't know why. It's like I stopped telling people that, but I know, I remember, because it was like post high school. I was like, it would be so cool to have a pole in. Look at me. Anyway, yeah, eventually I'll get it installed. So in case my mother sees this, hi. But yeah, it's I just start paying for experiences. Start visiting restaurants you don't go to, because you know sometimes you can have such a set routine, it becomes your prison. Mm, it does. Look around once in a while and expand your prison. Make sure your prison is somewhere you like being, because I feel like that's what everyone is building. You know, you may not look at it that way, but that's what your life is. Someone can spend so much time building, and then suddenly they're like, I don't want this life. This was not the life I wanted. I'm like, you were participating the whole time. You were there. You weren't under duress. You were not like, no one was even pushing you. That was all you. And I'm saying that especially for like some discussions that were on Twitter about marriage. Me uchoka, I really get tired seeing those misogynies. I'm just like, y'all just have time. Y'all really have time. Uh, yeah, I'm just realizing the correlation of the title and the day. Yeah, okay. Um, hmm, I think that's pretty much it. We are 22 minutes in, and yeah, I'm just hoping. No, I know I'll be more consistent, especially because I want to archive all my creative productions into a blog. I don't know how long that will take, but I want, once I start, I just schedule them. So I just need to sit down and do them in blocks. Mm. And I hope it will be another way of seeing everything that I've ever like worked on, like for the past 8 years. Oof, that's a very long time. Because yeah, I'm realizing my life may be like all over the place, but I have really had really good like, because I've worked in media. I'm currently at a not-for-profit. I've worked at an NGO as a board member, which was really cool. I was like, people can have such power. Anyway, what was the other thing? Like I've actually really just been in very interesting spaces, and I think I'll keep going. I think I'll keep going. Ooh, maybe one day I'll do a video on ageism, the attitude that you experience when people just genuinely don't think you're as experienced as you're saying you are. Very exhausting. In fact, nowadays I don't waste time. I'll do a whole series on like transitioning from corporate to running your own company, what that looks like. And yeah, I'll go into all those details because I feel like right now is really a good time. I'm just working on getting a budget for production. I also have the podcast going, which is really cool. I'm booking some really interesting characters, and I'm also seeking out people who, wouldn't necessarily want to share their story, but they do have a story to share. So yeah, I'm actually really looking forward to this year and how it unfolds. I feel really better about YouTube now. So I think what I'll do, I'll just end it here. And yeah, I'll just see you guys later. I don't know when. I won't promise you. I won't, but I know it's this month. I'm supposed to meet a friend of mine, so I'll ask her when we'll shoot because you're supposed to do like a series with her. I'm also trying to I'll try to get my pole dancing teacher to join me, maybe just for a brief conversation, either here or on the podcast, whichever she's comfortable with. And yeah, I want to have more conversations. So if that's something you want, you can definitely check out my link tree. I'll leave it in the description below. And you can reach out. We can talk. If you're far, you can do it virtually. I usually really enjoy consultation or discovery calls. It's actually one of the best ways for me to be able to segment everyone I'm connected to so that when I get an opportunity, I know who I'm referring to that opportunity. So, yeah, so far, so good. Thank you so much for joining me, guys. I really like today's outfit, let me show you. So, I like the dress because it's actually very, yeah, but because of that, that's where the wig comes in handy. And then you just briefly get glimpses of my neck. Okay, I'm going now. Bye.